I understand our contact in the Tottingham area has been holding out on us again.
His collections from your protective society have fallen off by 2%.
I suspect that 2% has ended up in our contact's pockets. I think we can dispense with his future services. Arrange for his body to be found in the mail sack somewhere in the north of Scotland.
Yes, sir.
What about the informant who was working undercover with Scotland Yard on the jewel heist?
Disposed of in the usual manner. There'll be no trace.
As usual.
One of the dock workers in your employ was overheard mentioning that he was a close friend of Professor Moriarty.
Professor Moriarty has no friend, and Professor Moriarty is the friend of no one. Haven't attended to.
Yes, sir.
See that his disappearance is noticed. Have it spoken of. Have the workers on the docks wonder whatever became of their mate. What they conjure in their imaginations will be far worse than the truth.
You're a master of psychology, Professor.
Anything else?
3 of your men come up for trial on Thursday next.
Ah, yes. Thanks to young Sherlock Holmes.
He'll be the Crown's star witness.
Holmes has interfered with my plans once too often. I do not wish him to testify.
Will you deal with him in the usual way?
You surprise me, my dear Joan. Sherlock Holmes is not a usual human being. Therefore, he cannot be dealt with in the usual manner. Comments? It's Mrs. Bassett. Admit her.
The professor will see you, Mrs. Bassett.
Report.
A respectable haul from the various suffragette meetings held throughout the city.
Clarify respectable. Not as good as our haul from the Tower of London.
But Professor, a Tower of London job comes along once in a lifetime.
Perhaps next time I can arrange to steal the tower. Anyone out there?
Sid Prince.
Who?
Sid Prince, the safecracker. You used him to open the vault at the Stock Exchange.
I recall.
Any assignment for this evening, Professor?
I'll give word to you. It may be that I shall require your special talents.
Oh,
It will depend on how my interview with a certain private investigator concludes. No trouble with the police.
my suffragettes are well trained, Professor. Whenever it looks as if the jig is up, we stage a minor riot. When it's over, the onlookers have been relieved of their wallets, baubles, and beads.
If I had used you for previous assignments, 3 of my best men wouldn't be standing on the docks with Sherlock Holmes breathing down their necks.
If women actually get the vote, it will be the end of our masquerade.
I do not intend to see so valuable a gang as our suffragettes lose their cover. To this end, I am working diligently to ensure that women do not receive the vote.
I understand.
And admit, Sid, you'll get your cut in the usual manner.
Always a pleasure talking to you, Professor.
Remember me, Professor?
You left traces of coal dust in the vault of the Stock Exchange.
I did.
What do you want?
I came across something that might interest you.
Comments?
Seems this couple...
Names?
Madge and James Larrabee.
They're wanted by the French police.
Blind Professor. Is there anything you don't know?
I don't know what you've come across that might interest me.
They met a young woman who has letters with the Prince of Bohemia in a very awkward way.
Prince of Bohemia. Where are the Larrabees?
Waiting.
You brought them here! Here to my secret underground office!
I can vouch for the Larrabees.
I hope you're right, Sid Prince. Otherwise the Thames will have you as an overnight guest. Joan, admit the Larrabees.
Yes, Professor.
I want to do nothing to harm you, Professor Moriarty. You know that. You can trust Sid Prince.
I trust no one. That is why I will never be defeated. What is this business you have with the Prince of Bohemia?
I don't know, as we wanted to tell you. After all, this is our game, not yours.
Is it?
I'm not even sure I'm going to be here.
Silence.
Here now, I don't like being talked to like that.
Obviously, you do not understand to whom you are speaking.
Don't anger the professor.
I'm not afraid of him.
Better be, James Larrabee. Otherwise, you won't live another day. I have my methods.
Careful.
Sit down.
Whoa.
I was telling the professor about the Prince of Bohemia.
Can you help us?
Who is the young woman in this case?
Alice Faulkner. Stubborn. Her sister died in despair over the prince.
But not before the prince wrote many love letters.
We had planned to sell him to the insurance company.
Everything was going fine, then all of a sudden, like, they called it Sherlock Holmes.
That name again! Where are the letters now?
Alice has them on her person. She threatens to destroy them if we make a move.
You know the contents of each letter.
Of course.
You can make forgeries.
We have in our employ an extremely clever forger.
Woman by name.
Holmes has seen the letters.
Only the small packet he returned to Alice. He had no time to open the envelopes.
Tie the forgeries up so they will look exactly like the packet Holmes held in his hand.
But why, Professor?
I have my methods. I shall want the counterfeit package at 11 tonight.
It'll be ready.
I shall also require a little assistance from you both.
Here now, you haven't said anything about the business arrangements.
You will have the opportunity tonight to sell the counterfeit letters to Holmes for a good round sum. You shall take 100%, and I, nothing.
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 Nothing's with the packet of real letters.
Careful, Jimmy boy. Don't anger the professor. I tell you.
You were, I believe, Mr. Larrabee, acquainted with one Alf Waxman, a well-known blackmailer.
I know all doubt. Sure.
We all do.
Seen him around lately.
Now that I think of it, no.
And you won't be seeing him. He displeased me.
He won't cross you, Professor.
I trust not. I should hate to see you in widow's weeds.
You won't have any trouble from us, Professor Moriarty. We'll get what we can from Holmes.
What about the real letters?
The disposition of the real letters will be no concern of yours.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you say, Professor.
Your interview is over. Joan, I bid you good morning.
I was wondering, Professor, if you might have a small job for good old Sid Prince.
The interview is over.
Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir. Lovely weather we're having this morning.
Prince of Bohemia. Splendid. Excellent. That one. Professor Moriarty here. Bring my cab around front. I journey to Baker Street.
To Sherlock Holmes?
Baker Street is his residence, I believe.
You will go there yourself?
I will go there myself. I will offer him peace. Or death. Either way, Moriarty wins.
You're a marvel, Professor. A human marvel.